for here. Are they going to go for the boss? Yeah, they have everyone up there. It's going to be a trade for bosses between our two teams.
Playing Ducks are doing the same thing down at the bot lane, and Team Good Guys, they flicked it out, they sniffed it out already. Now I'm flicking. Jeez.
Yes!
So we have the boss taken, 10 has dropped, and of course the Good Guys are going to get their own boss in time. The rotation will not be there just yet. And then we're going to have a fight on even talents. Soon enough, at least that is. The advantage still goes to the Good Guys though. They took the fort down at the top lane, meaning the boss is now going to walk over towards the keep. It's a really early boss, so it hasn't scaled properly just yet, but that is a massive advantage when it comes to the structural pressure.
Yeah, they could definitely commit to bolster it here. Just push in this top lane, work on the keep wall, push in your opponents. Tribute spawns in the bottom right corner, but Team Good Guys keeping 5 people up here. Are they going to commit to keep pushing? Oh my golly, that force wall. Here comes the drag. Divine Storm coming out as well, but Antihero steps forward. Isolation landing on Rhaegar.
Aegis was used. That was perfect. They're moving in again and getting the second kill. Down they go. Stitches falls, and so does Rhaegar. Well done. The isolation really being key here too.
Yeah, solid job here by the Playing Ducks as they clear out the boss. They get the tribute. Their boss got value on the fort in the bottom right. They just took an entire moment of momentum and put it upside down for Team Good Guys. Look at this control on the Rhaegar.
Yeah, Rhaegar has absolutely no chance, and this is just a death zone at this point. Especially seeing the Tyrael jump in and dropping his Sanctification. That was such a good position for the Playing Ducks to fight. It was absolutely perfect. Sanctification, this is one of the best value Sanctifications that we have seen in ages. And then on the back of it, you just get the isolation against Stitches and against Rhaegar. That was fantastic force wall that we saw there. So the Good Guys definitely getting slapped in the face in that last battle, but now it's all about who gets the first tribute.
It's all about the tribute, and Playing Ducks have played their cards right. They have the top lane pushing in with the Dahaka and Giants. They're in a spot where the tribute is favorable for them as they're able to move in for the choke. The Team Good Guys is going to have to rotate in and control this space. BKB's in a solid spot, also here for the harassment, but they have to watch out for Dahaka.
Yeah, top lane is pressuring, mid lane will pressure soon. The only push that the Good Guys have is the one at the bottom of the map. This is one of those things where you need to get a hook, you need to get an engage. You can't just delay this for too long. Antihero already in a bit of trouble here as he gets quickly isolated by the force wall, but BKB is pushing forward now.
He's on him, sitting on top of Tassadar, slowing him down enough. They're going straight for Chris. They're going to try to zone him out. Antihero on the back right. They're dealing with Uther, putting damage on top of Nande at the same time. Is in the front line. He still has Sanctification.
Sanctification can still be used here, and he will soon have to do that. Answers are already used. They are really low. Here comes the Sanct. They're moving out, dragging Anti back in. But everyone's low on the side of the Ducks, and they are barely getting away, but the hook connects, and this is the end of Tyrael.
Lunara is just Winara right now. She keeps burning through everyone on the front line. Even with the trait from Tyrael, it's just not enough to get damage on the back lines, and now the curse will go over to Team Good Guys. They're going to be able to defend that middle lane as well as start working on their opponent's structures.
Now the question here, of course, still remains, how much can they get out of the curse? They are defending the mid lane with Stitches alone, and they are pushing heavily down to the bottom of the map. They want to just walk past their fort. They don't even want to spend time there. They would really love to just get that fight, but already Kronos in trouble. Not having the Aegis ready. These are just mistakes that just can't happen. Oriel has absolutely no business in that position with BKB just bearing behind him. Double support is all nice and good, but if you are in front of your tank, then you can't complain if you get picked off.
I mean, at the same time, though, it's Billy just killing him with these force faults. He keeps landing them, getting the lockdown set up for his team. Another engage from Wolf Joe. He will have Divine Storm in 4 seconds, but Eternal is going to fall before the seconds conclude.
Antihero goes in, and this is great for Lunara, who now gets the added advantage from unfair advantage. The bonus damage, and Wolf Joe, he is looking really dead, but gets saved. And now the turnaround attempt is Chris Chassard's, hey, I can go in for this. Top lane, on the other hand, that is a big problem, because this is where we're now seeing a big wave pushing in. But Playing Ducks can turn around and defend. And after everything is said and done, we have seen the fort in the bot lane fall. We have seen pressure on all lanes. But the Playing Ducks are not really all that far behind, so the Good Guys didn't get as much out of the curse as they wanted to, since they were engaged into a lot of battles against the Ducks that didn't really go their favor.
Yeah, Team Good Guys embarked on a mission to go forward the bottom left and go for a keep, but they weren't able to do so as the Playing Ducks just moved forward and kept this tug of war happening in the bottom lane. And overall, the main story is they saved their keep and they set up for a play. They have a curse available on the next tribute. So Team Good Guys, who are in a scenario where typically you want to get some major value out of that curse, did really not that much.
I really still think that what we're seeing in terms of fights is looking quite strong for the good guys. Think about the Sanct that went down in the last fight. It wasn't a perfect spot, but still the good guys walk away with a victory. They have to be more cautious when it comes to the force wall of Tacita. As you said before, Sportbilly is playing fantastic on the hero now, but they have to mind their position a little bit better. You have two really strong tanks. You can't just, as a support, walk in front of the tanks and say, hey, isolate and kill me, please. Especially if you don't have the Aegis ready yet. So if the good guys position themselves well during these situations, I think they have a great shot at dominating the team fights. But we will see that right now. The Haka is trying to push the top lane forward, but already the wall at the keep in the mid lane has fallen, and they're just poking away in it.
Yeah, as I say in Europe, you gotta mind the gap here, and the gap is not minded. Raid Ball's gonna hit there with the force wall. We'll be fine here. I prefer the Lunar being in the front line, though. When you have double support, you want your carry to be the one that takes any type of damage if it does come your way, that we can heal it out.
Yeah, if you have all the cooldowns ready and Stitches even can go for the hook, then by all means. But here comes the Sanct. That was a really early one. They're trying to go for the stuns. The Sanct is out. This is great for the good guys. The Haka is pushing now at the top, but they are going to lose that keep for sure.
And that's going to make keep here. Can Team Good Guys back up in time to go defend a Haka? That's the major worry here. Playing Ducks should try to keep them in this area. They will not be doing so. Actually, Team Good Guys, they're going for a bit of a bold play. They're thinking about coming down the bottom boss. Okay, they're done. I was scared. With Tyrael be on the field here and Holy Ground about to hit, or Holy Ground actually being available, would have been hard to grab that.
They need to fight for the next tribute. So before the next tribute spawns, they need to defend that top lane. Well, at this point, they're actually risking it, but the boss is about to be attacked here by Playing Ducks. Now they have Holy Ground, but the one thing they don't have is Sanctification.
Oh, Nande low on health here, being focused down. If you want to get rid of him before the Holy Ground's available, it's one of the best ways you can do it. And you're right, 40 seconds before we have that Sanct up and available. BKB steps forward. The boss in the back line is getting low.
Oh!
Zay's going to get hit with the stun, though.
They don't time it with the boss fight properly. Here comes the stun. They need to take the boss. Nande is there.
Wow.
Never ever fight in the boss. This is the second time. They kill Tacita, they're going in for the hook, they have a good chance of taking down Chris here, and that works well for them, but they honestly need to step up their game when it comes to boss fights. They might win the game even here, but this is still... This can backfire hard. They go for the core, let's see if they can actually pull it off. They killed the damage dealers, that's fantastic for them.
No damage dealers up here for the Playing Ducks. The core is taking damage with the boss and a giant pushing the top right. If they do not get this core now, Team Good Guys can lose the game. Tacita's up in 10 seconds. Wolf Joe stepping forward here. The Sanctification has been popped. Zay on the back right. The core's falling down to 75%.
Uther's down.
We're having Uther down.
They should have it. 2 seconds until Tacita, 5 until we're seeing Vala back. They're going for it again. Another one down. Raid boss is down though. They're going for the core. 16%, 9, 8. Another one falling. The shield of Tacita, 5%. 3, 2,
0.
And they take it. The good guys win the game.
Bit of a mess overall, but they get it done. They pull ahead here, and Team Good Guys will get the first victory for them here in the HGC. It was a bit sloppy. They got some room to improve, but they got it done.
I really liked what they were trying to do at the boss. I'm not sure if we have a replay of that, but if we can get that, that would be fantastic. But what we saw there was, they realized, okay, first of all, Tyrael was in a really bad spot as the boss goes for the stun. But at that moment, when we see BKB pushing up into the gap, he says, okay, sorry, it was anti-hero on the Stitches. He pushed in the gap. I think BKB was with him. They drop immediately the Putrid Bile. So they're saying, if you move in here, you are all gonna die. If you funnel into that point, we're gonna kill you. The one thing they have to do at this point is to have at least 1 or 2 just finishing the boss. The boss was nearly dead. That's the reason why the 2 tanks move into the corner. If they kill the boss, move on to the point, they immediately have the position where they can say, okay, we have the boss taken, and the team fight is still going in their favor as well. But they allowed, and you called it even before, that when Tyrael jumped out, he actually used his Holy Ground already. But they gave them so much time that they nearly were stunned from the boss, and then the cooldown came up. We actually have the replay for you before we go into the interview.
Thanks,
but
Josh.
Pay attention to this, how this is actually working out for them. This is the cooldown that we are seeing being used here. They focus on the boss and do well with this. When they're about to kill it and they're, okay, it's nearly falling, they move into the corner. Just, can we pause here maybe even? So they drop the Putrid Bile. they have Future Cabal drop. The 2 tanks are all the way out. If they are in this situation, just focusing down the boss with the 2 healers, they have raid bosses there as well. Maybe even Arthur turns around. They can finish the boss. They take the boss in the back and take it from there. But because they wait too long, Kronos is stunned on the Rhaegar, and this all of a sudden starts turning. The stun comes out. They barely keep the tanks at the front alive. Antihero actually hits the E, and this is when Nande comes in and steals the boss. And this works out for them because they win the fight. But it's such a risky position for them at this point. If they lose the fight, and they could have lost that easily, if that turns around then because Antihero, for example, dies in that situation instead of barely surviving, then we're having a boss barrel down the bot lane and the entire team of Sport Billy and Chris moving through and maybe even finishing it. So it worked out. But these are the things that they need to improve. If they said we want to be a top 3 team. That's what we're aiming for, of course. And they also said we're not there yet, we need to improve. And this is one of the things where they have to just clutch this out. Very reminiscent of Sky Temple when we had the situation around the boss. But overall in the game, they played really well. I liked it after they stopped getting isolated at the top, how they just pushed with a double tank, double support. They knew they really couldn't die. As long as they keep Lunara alive, they're good.
Couple mistakes, but I do like the commitment. You know, they took the idea of like, you know what? We're probably going to be in a situation where we're going to get outpushed here with the Hawk at the top lane. If we lose this boss, we're going to lose the game. But let's put it all on the line here on the bottom left. Could definitely be cleaned up a little bit, and I'm sure this is a team that, look at them from last week to this week. They have definitely improved. They'll take this information and move forward.
I'm probably a little bit harsher with the analysis right now than I should be since they won the series, and I hope I also made very clear what I liked about the way they played it, especially when we've seen the Illidan plays and the other maps. They have some really ingenious moments, but it always feels that they make the mistakes at points when they shouldn't.
Yeah, you're just like, what are you doing here? Yeah, they seem to miss the overall picture when they're in a scenario.
Yeah, at times. And I think it's nerves to a certain extent, and I guess we're having an interview where we can also ask them about it, but it was a great series. I really liked it, so I'm just getting...
We have your favorite player here, actually, by the way. Auntie, here joining the show. Welcome to the HGC. Auntie, your team's first victory. How you feeling, man? You seem to be relieved.
Yeah, they were trying to run it down mid there.
I mean, I was pretty sure that we threw that like entire series, and I was so done already mentally. I have no words, honestly.
You got to work on that, man. You have to have a strong mentality.
I mean, I have, and I use some strong words to my teammates to cheer them up, of course, you know.
Yeah, perfectly.
Yeah.
He went full Care Bear. I like you, Auntie. Nice Care Bear going on. I mean, let's go ahead and talk about that entire series. Game 1 and Game 2, you guys were impressive. Seriously, we did not expect that coming from you guys, especially yesterday when you played against Dignitas. But going into game number 3, seemed to falter a little bit. What happened?
I mean, I think that playing Ducks figured our drafts out like a little bit going through the series, and at the start we got what we wanted, and I mean we did well on it, and I think they just adapted very nicely to our style, and I think overall they just made a really good series. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, over to Caldor.
Well, first of all, what's the problem you guys have with bosses? That happened twice now.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I have no words. I mean, I'm not gonna look at the boss anymore. At all. Yes, I don't think so, actually.
All right, let's go for a few real things here. So the first question that I have is, you guys are new to the HGC. You are the team that just recently formed when you were heading into the playoffs. So you are definitely the newest team that we have in the league here, or the youngest team. Where would you say you guys stand right now? You need to still find your rhythm a little bit. You guys were talking about that you still need to improve a lot. But after the victory against playing Ducks, where would you currently say you guys stand within the ranks?
I think that's pretty tough to tell right now. I mean, we had some good games like against Dignitas, and I think that gave us a lot of confidence going into the series today. But also, I felt like after getting beaten like 0-4, basically, in a best-of-5 against Liquid, that we kind of got like a little bit of a setback there, but I hope that we can just get a couple more wins against our direct opponents, like let's say Tricked or Experts or something. And if we get those kind of wins, I think we're gonna go to spot 5 or 4.
All right, cool. Just one more question. We were talking a bit about how you looked after you lost on Tomb. Tomb was a pretty rough match. They could have ended either way. You had a couple of really great fights there. But then going on to Sky Temple, it all started to really fall apart. So heading into the 5th map, the big question that we had was, are you guys going to be on tilt here? You got a really strong draft for you, I felt, and you're probably quite happy with that. But the big question was, from a mentality aspect, who is the one in the team that is able to calm everyone down and say, guys, yeah, we lost 2 games right now, but we can still win that series?
I think definitely Raid Boss. Like he's our cutie in that regard, and he keeps everyone up in team moral and mentality. So I'm glad to have him on my team, and he also supplies us with very good drafts and everything. So I'm pretty glad to have him on my team to do that. I mean, everyone does a little too. Like, we're not like gonna let each other down, of course, and we're doing the best. And Raid Boss does the most, and he's leading us in a way.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Well, before I let you go, you are going to be facing off against Fnatic next week. You guys have already had to face the top 3. Are you ready for that matchup?
I mean, playing against Fnatic is special to me. I honestly want to beat Smexy. That's it. Like, not much to say, but I think it's going to be a tough match for sure. I want to give them a run for their money. At least get a game, maybe 2, but hopefully we can show decent performance. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, looking forward to the match. And this is your first time, man. Congratulations on your victory. But now you have the most important thing to do. You have to do shoutouts.
Okay. Shoutouts to my teammates. Shoutouts to everyone that's been anti-W in the Twitch chat, of course. Shoutouts to our fans. And for our maybe future organization, this could have been your shoutout. So maybe next time we can have something arranged like that.
Well, get this team a sponsor, man. They're already getting victories in the HGC. Congratulations to Ante, and everyone else on the team here as Team Good Guys get their first victory. Awesomely done by them.
Did you hear that? They have their own Care Bear. They have their own Trixler in the team.
Yes, I love Care Bears. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and take a schedule for tomorrow because HGC weekend is not done here. Tomorrow, Fnatic and Tricked Esports. Oh, yes, that's going to be a good matchup to start the day. And, oh my gosh, Team Dignitas and Team Expert to follow up afterwards. We will conclude HGC weekend, week 2, with some awesome matches.
I'm loving our schedule. It's great. Dignitas versus Expert. We've been talking when Expert was playing earlier about how they always attack the big 3. And we wanted to know, can they make it work this phase? So I am hyped for tomorrow.
Can they make it work this phase with the Condor dance?
Good games. I'm hyped. This is cool. Our schedule is awesome. Great games here today. And tomorrow we're just going to continue the same trend. But of course we have a little bit more coming up now too. We have North America starting.
That's right. HGC Europe is all finished up, but HGC North America is up next. And guess what? Gillyweed's back. We'll see you guys tomorrow.